Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Roy Canning.
And I'm Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
Today we're taking a first look at Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated. This is a 10-game legacy version of Clank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming after 10, from what I can tell, is at least the way the game's progressing, you'll be able to continue to play it. In fact, the book has pretty much said that as time has gone by. If you're watching this, I'm going to go on the assumption you kind of know a little bit about Clank itself. If you've never seen Clank, go watch my Clank review. You could play this never having played Clank. No, you could. It teaches you all that. I wouldn't recommend it, though. I'd recommend play Clank first, then this.
Sure.
Anyway, realize going in that this is our impressions of it, but let me show you a little bit of the game without being too spoilery of what's going on, and then we'll be back. What you're looking at here is the setup after the first game that we've played. So I'm recording this earlier than the intro and outro, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what this game looks like. Now, there are two sides to this board. Depending on what game you're playing, you're going to use one of the sides. You'll notice that there are spots down here that it looks like we're going to be putting stickers on, and in fact we've already put quite a few stickers on the board. The game comes with a ton of sticker sheets here. You can see some of them have already been placed on the board, so that's, you know, the board is going to change permanently as time goes by. Players are going to be going through a series of missions. So right now we've simply played the first mission, which says in the overworld, although it looks like some will be on the underworld. And then here we're keeping track of our scores. There's an associate spotlight. And you'll notice here there's a prologue and an epilogue for each one. And these are going to change the way the game is played. This book here, the Book of Secrets, will have different things. So here's Game 1 Prologue, for example. You'll do it. You'll follow what the instructions say to do. And as the game goes by, various things, various spots on the board, or even maybe a major secret will show a number, which you will then find that number and read it. Now, sometimes that number, there was a number on this space, for example, and then when that number got replaced, then when we found the number, it got replaced by a sticker, so the sticker went on top of the number. But that's basically, you know, how the game is going to move and change, is by going through this Book of Secrets, which will either have you put stickers on the board. Sometimes there's stuff here from these token punch boards that are inside this envelope that you'll be adding. And players are going to be trying to win a game of Clank by following whatever the mission is, which for the first game was simply to get one of the artifacts, just like regular Clank, and to get out of town. There's also going to be various missions that are going to show up over the course of the game. So here's searching for Mystic Fruit. So you got to get Mystic Fruit and your turn on the tower, then read 161. But if nobody does it before the end of game 2, then we're going to read 182. So Mystic Fruit in this game, you need to get this Mystic Fruit over here. These are worth 3 points to get. What else they do, I don't know. So this Mystic Fruit here, that mission card, there's a lot of different mission cards that are in this game. You start with one from the prologue, but after that they're going to branch and tree, and there's a whole cardporium here where you'll be pulling cards out from this cardporium. Sometimes they're cards that will go into the regular decks of cards, but a lot of times they're going to be more of these mission cards here. This is the home board where you'll keep track of players' lives and keep track of the dragon rampage, which is done with this really cool miniature here. Players are also going to have a store where they're going to keep track of different items that they can go buy in towns. And while there's two different items here that start the game, these boats that let you move on rivers and crowns, which are just worth victory points, I'm sure more of them will show up as time goes by. One difference that this game does from regular Clank is that it has minor secrets off the board, so when you land on a minor secret spot, you just grab one randomly from the pile and reveal it and see what it says to do. The cards that are in the deck building aspect of this game, you have Mercenaries and Explore, just like you do in the base game, but then you have various things. There's going to be Humor at the bottom. This is definitely a, Acquisitions Incorporated style thing, but you'll notice that the cards, at least in the beginning, are the same. Although there are now event cards that when they show up, something will happen to players based on the event card. And these cards, like I said, based on the different scenarios, are going to change and things are going to happen in them. But for the most part, they're fairly similar to what they were in the original game. Players themselves are kind of quote-unquote leveling up here. You're trying to get the Acquisitions Incorporated to hire you, so you have personal goals here. So there's various things, and if you complete a whole row here on one of these, then you'll get to check this off. If you finish a game with positive points or win a game, you'll check them off, and you'll level up once you reach these specific numbers. I don't know what that does to a character. I'm very curious myself, but we'll just have to wait till we get to that spot when we're playing our game. I've already showed most of the components for the game. This is the box here, a plastic insert which holds different plastic figures for the characters, a filing cabinet here, additional components, things that are in here that you might need to pull out. We got some envelopes in here, patron cards. I don't know what it says, what those are for yet. Token punch board, like I showed you, a vault where you can put stuff. Again, I'm not even sure what all this does, but the main thing is this cardporium here, which is a nice little magnetic style box with all these cards that are going to be added to the game. And then, like I said, there is a ton of sticker sheets in the game. Players have their own personal decks that they'll start with, and the board itself just has a lot of neat things. I'm sure it's going to really mold and change as time goes by. Okay, so it's always possible that you will change, that will, come back 10 games later and we'll try it out. But the biggest thing I want to say is that we have said this before about different legacy games.
Yeah.
Where we've said, hey, here's our first impressions, and we will eventually do a final review.
And we have not done that because we don't like to kick the dead horse.
Okay, well, anyhow,
Yeah, for sure.
Well, or just because it just hasn't got back to the table.
All right.
This one I can almost guarantee you is going to happen with. I am so looking forward to the fourth game of this.
For sure.
I'm excited about every single game. We've been playing this one slower because we've always kind of...
You've been playing it slower. I've been like, let's rush through everything. Let's get all the stories.
No, what I meant was we're not playing more than one game at a time.
Okay,
we played 3 games on 3 different days because it's kind of nice to not have to go on a legacy game.
No, that's true, yeah. That's true.
We've done that in the past. But each game is about 90... It says 90 minutes to 2 hours on here. That's probably correct.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long at all. It seems like our games are pretty snappy.
Games have been very fast. I mean,
Well, I've been watching the time.
no, I'm sure that's fine. But it doesn't feel like we're taking an hour and a half to play the game.
It definitely engages you the whole time. And the thing about some of these legacy games is like you get a legacy game and it feels like you're playing the same game over and over again. This has been having like new stuff constantly, new stories, new cards, new things like that, which I thought was pretty exciting.
Yeah, we were just remarking yesterday after we finished our 3rd game that we feel like we've gone through more in just 3 games than we did in other legacy games where we finished it completely.
Yes. There's more legacy stuff in this game than any game I've ever seen. Hands down. There is 13 8x11 sheets of stickers.
Yeah.
There's... I mean, that's a lot of stickers.
Yeah.
There is 170 cards that are in the thing or whatever. There is things of counters. There's stuff we haven't seen yet.
And
Oh, yeah,
that's,
for
I
sure.
mean, that's a lot of components, but we're going through a lot of that stuff in just 3 games.
That's true. There's, I mean, because there's 10 games and each game says, read the prologue, stuff happens. Read the outro, stuff happens. So every game has a different feel to it. And then you can go around and find stuff. There's something that in our game 3 we could have did, but we did not.
Right.
So it's still their game 4.
Yeah.
I like how in this game it's like the main quest is like what you normally do in Clank. You're trying to go out there, play Clank the normal way.
I keep
your
forgetting
stuff,
about that.
run back. But then it's like there's all these other things thrown on. I mean, not to spoil anything, but it's just like there's all sorts of other things that kind of distract you from the main like winning the game. It's like, oh, but I could go here and do this, but then now they want me to go there, and then it just makes it super interesting the way that everything ties together. And it feels like it has like a cohesive story altogether as you're trying to build up the whole Acquisitions Incorporated thing.
And that's one of the things that I think not really fixed, but repaired, I guess you could say. One of the things in the original Clank game that I didn't like was that somebody can go get a small artifact and then run out, and that really puts a time crunch on everybody else.
Yeah.
To, I guess, balance that out a little bit, you want to go find out what all these different stories are. You want to go deeper down into the board. You don't want to just grab something and run out. You want to go explore, and I like that. I like that a lot about this game.
And it's cool because the game feels like it rewards you for doing that as well. So it's like, hey, I'm doing this thing, I'm doing that thing.
Yeah,
the more you play and the more you interact with the legacy elements, the more the game feels like it rewards you.
Definitely found out that the one person who wants to do all the interacting definitely benefits more than the rest of us.
But there was a game where you did all the interacting,
Yes,
and it was
that's
great
true.
for you as well.
Well, you know what? Next game. That's what I'm
You
doing.
have to beat me there, Tom.
I should mention, if you've never heard of Acquisitions Incorporated before, this is a IP of sorts that's based on Penny Arcade, plays a live dungeon crawl thing that they do at their different conventions, and it's recorded. People go watch it. It's always full, very popular. You said you've watched all of them?
I haven't watched all of them. I've watched a decent amount of them, but like I see the characters and things like that, and I get that like flavor that's like, oh man, cool. Like, oh man, there's so and so's character, and there's this thing, and oh man, they would totally say that sort of thing.
You've not seen a single one?
Nope.
Okay, so, well, no, that's good because there's two different things here.
Yeah.
The game itself is Clank. Clank was never a serious game to begin with. This does up the silliness to a slightly higher level.
It does, but at the same time, like with the Clank in Space version, that was kind of a mashup of a whole bunch of different things.
Sure.
From pop culture. That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
For me, not knowing anything about Acquisitions Incorporated, frankly, that's what it feels like. It carries that same kind of tongue-in-cheek quality that Clank in Space had.
The stories are pretty good. I mean, that book of secrets that you go through is pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
There is a lot on there, although we just did a Mad Libs thing, which was kind of...
I thought that was kind of fun though. So
It was okay. But, I mean...
That's kind of spoilerific. I might edit that out.
I don't think talking about Mad Libs is spoilerific, but all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, I really enjoy the storyline and how there are characters that we are meeting, and those characters might be in the deck, or they might be a character on the board, and it's a storyline. And it's offered us choices, this is the part that drives me crazy, right? So it says, do you want to do this, or this? And so Roy picks this, and I'm like, great. But what would happen if we had picked the other things? I must know, because when I played Choose Your Own Adventure, I just stuck all my fingers in the book, to figure it out.
you're the guy who reads the end of the book first.
He is, actually. He is.
I did not spoil myself on this, though. I don't know how this will end. I don't know what will happen. I'm liking how the game is adding a little bit of cool changes during parts of the game. Not during each game, but like during parts of the game. Like at the beginning, and like, now you do this. Okay, cool. Halfway through, now you do this. You're like, what?
Yeah.
And you can see there's an overarching story emerging in the game too, because then there's certain moments where it's like, hey, what are you guys gonna do? And it's not a cooperative game at all. It's competitive, but you're still working for the same Acquisitions Incorporated, and you're trying to figure out like, could bad things happen if we do this wrong, or how will that affect the story when things work together?
They're like competing agents.
He makes
for the
bad choices. I just want to point out.
It's like you're competing agents for the same company. That's what it is. You're still working for the same company. You want our company to win, and you don't want the
you want to be
Duran
the
corporation to win.
employee of the month or whatever, basically.
That's what it feels like.
For me, this, I'm hoping holds up over 10 games. I'm telling you,
It's going strong right now.
For sure.
By the time this airs, we've probably played it 2 or 3 more times, honestly. But by game 10, I not only want to have a great 10 game experience, I'm hoping that it leaves me with a cool game I can play in the future.
Oh, for sure.
And all the signs are pointing to yes in that regard. There's destructive things in this game. You've got to destroy a lot of stuff.
You have to destroy a
but
lot
I
of
haven't
stuff.
felt really bad about it because it seems like, I don't know how to explain it. You just have to play the game and find out. But it doesn't feel that bad, although you could put it in. But I can tell you this right now. This is not a keep everything and
Oh, for
replay
sure.
it again, garbage.
This is fully a legacy game.
If you can pull that off with this one,
Good luck.
No, you can't.
no, I'm sorry.
There's
I
no
don't
way
want to play a
can
game
do
with
it.
you if you're even trying it with
There's
this
no way
one.
you can do it.
No, I'm sorry. So right now, after 3 games, this is a 9.5.
Wow.
It's that
that's
high for me.
awesome.
This is my favorite legacy experience, even more than Pandemic, for
Wow.
sure. And I liked Pandemic a lot. But here's the thing. This is based on a good game. And
Right.
I'm starting to think legacy games, and I like Clank better than Pandemic.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
me
then.
playing Clank a lot and having fun and seeing these things happen with a good story and it changes. This is my favorite legacy game, I think, at this point. Now that could change after 10 games. They could all go downhill. But unlike Seafall, where we felt like, oh, when's this game gonna get started? This one, I'm like, holy cow, we better buckle our seatbelts in. This one is not fooling around.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. I'm right there with you. Like, I played several legacy games, but like, I really like Clank and just the whole deck building thing. It seems like deck building is like almost built for legacy because there's just so many things you can manipulate in a legacy game.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's really cool. I mean, I'm right there with you. I feel like this is definitely my favorite legacy game that I've played. I haven't actually completed a legacy game because I normally play board games to get away from
Opinion
that.
invalidated.
But I've played the beginning of a whole bunch of legacy games,
Amateur.
and I really enjoyed Clank Legacy.
Oh boy. I am going to say it is on par with Pandemic Legacy. Pandemic Legacy is my favorite legacy game thus far. I will say that it is on par with Pandemic Legacy. I'm not going to say that I like it better.
To be clear, I did say that.
Yes, no, you did, and that's absolutely
changing my
fine.
mind.
You have the right to be wrong. It's fine. There's no problem. But I'm right at about a 9 right now.
I'm
which
curious if
which
you
is
will
what I
change your mind
believe
after 10.
Pandemic- Maybe, but I don't
We'll
know. I believe I gave Pandemic Legacy a 9, so I'm going to give this one a 9 right now as well, and see what happens.
Alrighty, we'll be back after 7 more games, which may not be that long. That's Clank Acquisitions Incorporated, Clank Legacy. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Roy Canny.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas, for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.